don't think I'll be ready ever, but. Okay, I'd like everyone to imagine this. You couldn't see written words or hear them spoken, but you could talk, read, write, and make friends. In fact, you graduated from college, you authored over a dozen books, you traveled all over the world, met 12 U.S. presidents, and you lived to be 87 years old. My name is Alicia Fisher, and I kind of want to tell you a little bit about the life of Helen Keller. Helen Keller overcome extraordinary hurdles to live life to the fullest and to help others in the same situation as her. She received numerous awards, dozens of honorary degrees, and she was known for a lot of her works of literature. Helen Keller was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama, July 27, 1880. She was born a healthy baby girl, no problems, you know, everyone's perfect dream, little girl. Well, at the age of 19 months old, she came down with what doctors called back then brain fever, but nowadays we would call it scarlet fever. High temperatures, infection, and due to that, she lost her hearing and her sight, so she became deafblind. Now, because she became deafblind at that time of her life, she didn't have a lot of social skills. She lacked a lot of guidelines that we get growing up visually and through our ears. So they saw her as an unruly child because she didn't know how to interact. Plus, she was frustrated because, I mean, as we all could imagine, not being able to speak or tell people what you need is extremely frustrating. So parents, you know, just thought she was out of control. Well, at the age of 7, they hired Anne Mansfield Sullivan to come teach their daughter. Anne had just graduated from Perkins School for the blind. She was also blind, but through operations was able to gain back a lot of her sight. Well, when Anne came to teach Helen, she used a tactile approach, which is kind of like sign language. I don't know if a lot of you know about sign language, but you use like the alphabet, you know, like that, except you put it into the person's hand and they can feel around it. That way they can, through sensory of touch, they can get that vocabulary, language, and communication. Well, they struggled because of the young age she became deafblind. She didn't have a lot of concepts of this. So it struggled to teach her. She got the alphabet, but finally, through a breakthrough one day, which maybe some of you have seen on some of the movies that have been made about her, and took her outside, stuck her hand under water, and when she felt the water, she spelled water into her hand. And she felt that and started saying, okay, this goes together. This cold stuff in my hand, that's what she's spelling, it's water. After that, Helen grasped language like no one's belief. I mean, she started to learn like 30 words a day, they said. Just picked it up. And then at the age of 10, she was told about another girl in the same situation, reading and writing. So she decided at 10 that I'm going to learn to read and write. And she also told them, I'm going to go to college. Well, she went on to go to Cambridge School for Young Ladies and prepared to go to Radcliffe College. Well, she enrolled and was accepted and graduated from Radcliffe College in 1904 with a Bachelor's of Arts. She studied hard, and Anne went with her, interpreting and teaching the classes to her the whole way through. They were side by side. After she finished college, she continued to study. She didn't get any higher degrees, but she continued to study to help others in the same situation and to kind of share her experience with everyone. She was granted a lot of honorary degrees. She got an honorary doctoral degree from Temple University and another one from Harvard, and she was even made a fellow of the Educational Institute of Scotland. So it wasn't just here in the US, but it was all over the world that she was recognized. She started writing her first book while she was still in college called The Story of My Life, and she went on to write several works after that. The Optimism, which was an essay, the book called Out of the Dark, and just numerous other books. And then after that, she was granted dozens of awards, such as the Brazilian Order of the Southern Cross, the Japanese Sacred Treasure, and the big one here in the US was the Presidential Medal of Freedom. They have so many awards that she was given that in New York, in the American Foundation for the Blind, in the Helen Keller wing, they have a whole room dedicated to preserving those awards for her. With all that Helen Keller did and accomplished, and the legacy that she left behind, she became a symbol of triumph over adversity and has a definite place in our history and times to come. And I'd like to leave you with a quote that I really like that she said, or that she was from her. She said, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or either touched. They must be felt within the heart.